Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of My Tech Time. I'm today's host Katie. We're going to talk about how the music and video streaming platforms affects our lives in multiple ways, and we'll discuss 3 major points that we might easily neglect when we use them. First, we're going to talk about intellectual property rights. What is it, and the importance of it? Second, it's about downloading pirated videos, the potential problems of it, and why we shouldn't do it. Third, we're going to talk about media literacy. Nowadays, we get most of information from short videos on YouTube. We must first judge if the content is real or not. In the past few years, from the time mobile phone was invented, from the very beginning that internet changed our lives, the development of technology has improved rapidly. Here are some examples. It was not easy for people to get in touch with others in the last decade. We had to know the person's number we want to call, or else we are out of touch. Nowadays, we can contact people we haven't seen for years immediately. We used to listen to music through a CD player. Now we use various kinds of music streaming platforms. In the past, if we wanted to watch movies, we had to go to the videotape rental shops to rent the tapes and put them into the player. Now, we just only have to subscribe to some video streaming platforms and pay monthly. Then we can watch thousands of movies and TV series we want. However, there might be pros and cons about the use of technologies, especially video streaming platforms. It has become popular in all ages and circumstances, but it also causes some illegal crimes and intellectual property issues. How do we build the awareness and keep our experiences of watching videos online safe? Well, lucky for you, we are about to go through some of these examples, discuss the concepts, and make sure you will not make any mistakes. What are intellectual property rights? According to the National Academy for Educational Research, the definition of intellectual property rights is a right created by law that protects a person's achievement that can produce that value of property, and that includes patents, trademarks, design, copyright, and more. Sounds a little complicated, right? Don't worry, we're going to explain more. Take copyright for example. Copyright protects creators' work, and that includes music, films, books, and other contents. And let me take another example. YouTube. When we upload a video publicly and we want to use some content, music or other materials that are created by others, we must read the rules carefully, whether we can use them. If we use them wisely, nothing will happen. If not, then we might get into trouble. So, what is the purpose of intellectual property rights? The purpose is for it to be protected by law. Creators contribute their achievement to the society, let others use them, and reward the creators, economically or by reputation, in order to develop the economy, culture, and technology. Next time when you use any video streaming platforms, keep in mind that anything in the video should be protected by intellectual property rights. When you want to use them as a reference, remember to use the description below. With the advancement of technology, more and more streaming media platforms appear. But are these films all licensed? In fact, just browsing the videos on the internet does not necessarily cause a copyright violation, but it is also possible to reveal our personal information to hackers, so we need to be really careful. Not only because of information security issues, we must also respect intellectual property. If we like other collections, we should support them at the corresponding price, rather than still enjoying these resources without paying anything. Media literacy. Sounds familiar, right? But what does it really mean? According to National Academy for Educational Research, the definition of media literacy is an ability to assess and analyze the content you observe, reflect, and take action. Sounds simple, right? But why is it important to us? The Canadian communication theorist Marshall McLuhan once said, "The medium is the message," shows the power of media affect our lives. In the 21st century, the terms of disseminating of messages has changed differently. Now we receive them mostly through video streaming platforms, especially those short videos that only briefly explain the surface of the issue. However, some of the messages might not be available. Some of them might even be exaggerated. As social media is rapidly expanding, and those unavailable messages will have an enormous impact on younger generations. Besides that, footage is more impactful than words. Most Gen Z mostly get their messages from some short videos on social media. Sometimes in video can include all the content, and it might not lead people to know the whole story. Not only Gen Z, but people in this world are all responsible for their own actions. The media cannot block the fake news, but we can self-judge. If the self-judge lessons work, the harm of unavailable news will be less. After seeing the skit, does that make sense to you? If it does, congratulations, you're going to be an excellent video streaming user. If it doesn't, Google it and learn more about it. Let's review the 3 main points we talked about: intellectual property rights, downloading pirated videos, and media literacy. Start with intellectual property rights. When the intellectual property right that is included is protected by an approved or pending patent, the study group must comply with a common patent policy and the related guidelines for implementation of the common patent policy. Then goes to downloading illegal pirated videos. Anything done creatively is protected by copyright laws, which protects artists and media companies. They created the work and they want compensation for their hard work without people stealing their work for free. Once the content is published, the owner of the content owns the copyright to that content for a certain amount of years. Most are for the life of the creator plus an additional 15 years, but each copyright law is different, depending on where you reside. Last but not least, goes to media literacy. Many people still dismiss media as harmless entertainment and claim they are not influenced by its messages. However, research findings consistently demonstrate that people are impacted by the media messages they consume. Media literacy interventions and education help children and adults recognize the influence media has and give them the knowledge and tools to mitigate its impact. That's all for today's My Tech Time. Now we know all kinds of issues we will face while we use video streaming platforms. Remember, technology can bring us convenience, but how to use it wisely is an important lesson for us to nowadays. See you next time. Bye.